In this video, I'll be recreating this 3D animation from LEMMINO using Blender and After Effects. And if you want to follow along, you'll have all the assets for free in the description. Okay, first things first, let's set up the 3D scene. Let's go to the render settings. We are going to use Eevee for this tutorial, but actually the animation will look better in cycles. So you can just follow the tutorial and then change the render engine here from Eevee to cycles, and then feature set experimental and device GPU compute. Make sure to lower the samples here to something like 60 for the viewport, and max samples you maybe just want something like also 60, but maybe 100 or so would be fine. Press denoise here, and here in the denoise settings, if you have an NVIDIA video card, you want to choose here optics and here albedo and normal. But I'm just doing a tutorial. I don't want to waste a lot of time and a lot of money if I will render this on a render farm. So just for the tutorial, I'm going to use Eevee. If you want this animation in particular to look better, it would actually look better in cycles. So I will change back to Eevee, check ambient occlusion, bloom, screen space reflections, motion blur. And for this animation, actually, and I think you are not seeing, you can't see this, so give me a second. In this animation, actually, you don't want to use AGX, you want to use standard, and look, choose high contrast, and then go to output. I'm going to work in 1920 by 1080 pixels with 24 frames per second, just because I'm doing a tutorial. If you want a higher quality, you can put 4K quality with more frames per second. In my case, I'm just doing a tutorial. Frame range, I'm going to tweak this later, but I think is 500. Here in the output settings, you want to choose a folder where you are going to export this animation. Select here PNG, RGBA, and compression down to 0. And now we are ready to start the tutorial. So here you are going to have a cube, a camera, and a light. You want to press A and delete everything. After that, you press Shift A, mesh, and plane. You want just a default plane with the size of 2 meters. You want to go to edit mode, pressing tab, or going here and choosing edit mode. Then you press Ctrl R to make a loop cut. You make this loop cut and don't move anything, and press right click. There you go. So I'm going to do the exact same thing again, but in another angle, left click and right click, so it stays in the center. Now I'm going to press 3 or face select mode, and I'm going to select this square, for example, right click, separate by selection. You want to do this with every square here, so press P, selection here. You want to go back to object mode, and now every square is like an individual mesh. So now you want to select everything, press right click and set origin to geometry. So now the origin point is at the center of every square. So if I want to scale this, it's going to scale down from the center. So I want to select everything and go up here in this icon that I don't know what that is, but is transform pivot point, and you want to change from median point to individual origins. And now you want to press S, and it's going to scale every square from the center. And you want something like this, you just want to eyeball it. And now that is like this, you want to select everything, right click, and join, or just press Ctrl J. Now right click, set origin to geometry, and now this is just one mesh. So you want to press here and see here in the dimensions, press S, and you want the entire mesh to be like 2 meters. like this. Okay, now go to edit mode by pressing tab again, and you want to select everything, press E on your keyboard, and then cell, and extrude this a little bit up, just a little bit, and we will tweak this later, no problem. So now we have this, and this has a little bit of depth. So now what we want to do is go back to edit mode and press 2, or select here, so you can select actually the lines here. Select here and press shift and left click here, and now press F, so you fill this section. And now you want to do this with every gap that is in here. Okay, so just like this, F, select here, shift click and F. And you want to do this with everything, here, here, F. And now this square, you want to do the same, F. And there you have it. So now you want to select these corners right here, shift click, and shift and left click. And now you press Ctrl B, so you are going to make a bevel and something like this. You want to eyeball it. Go back to object mode, and now you have like the road. It's just 2 meters because I think in the LEMMINO's video they wanted to make you feel like this is like a representation of the scene. So I imagine like all the scene is happening actually on a table and not like in real life. So now what you want to do is import all the assets that I left in the description. And those are like a combination of FBX files and OBJ files, and some are Blender projects. So what you want to do for the FBX and the OBJ is go here to File, Import, and select the extension that you're going to input. In this case, for example, I'm going to select FBX. So yeah, I just imported these 2 models, and here is where I'm going to steal all these houses, and I'm going to put them here in our scene. So I'm going to import all the assets, and yeah, I'm going to speed up this part. So now for the Blender files, you want to go here and append. Go to the assets, go here to the project and select a collection, append, collection, append. Okay, so I just imported everything. We have a lot of different houses that we can use. And now I want to add a camera just to have like a reference. So go here, Shift A, camera, GZ, go up. And now I'm going to position the views where I want the camera. And now press Ctrl Alt and 0 on your numpad. And there you have it. Okay, so press 0 on your numpad again, and I'm going to go here to this corner and drag to the right. So I have like 2 screens, and in this screen I'm going to press 0. So here I have my camera. I'm going to select the camera, go here to the data properties, and the passport, I'm going to put this to 1. And I'm going to change this from 50 millimeters to 35. So now I'm going to tweak the camera position so it looks good. Here in the Y rotation, I want this to 0. And I think that's actually good. So yeah, I think here is fine. I was checking the camera position and I think here this framing is fine. So now I want to position the houses. So go here, for example, and select like a simple house, just like, yeah, maybe this one. So press 7 on your numpad, press Z and go to wireframe mode here. Select everything. Everything is selected, yes. So press 7 again and Control J. So you join everything, go to set and solid mode, and yeah, now this is just one thing. So press Shift S and selection to cursor. So now it appears here. So press dot on your numpad, press 7 and now press G and move this like here. I'm watching this screen, and now I'm going to press R set and I'm going to move this a little bit up to 90 degrees or so it's facing the street. And now I'm going to lift this up with G and Z, and there you go. So now we have this house, and I think it's well positioned. Now I see that this house is parented to all of that right there. So I'm going to press right click, parent, and clear parent and keep transform. So yeah, now it's not parented to anything. So now I want to go to edit mode and I want to press 3, so you select the faces and you want to remove the faces that are in the wall. So press delete and delete faces. And I forgot to turn on the screencast keys so you can see what I'm actually pressing on my keyboard. So yeah, you want to select these faces and delete them so the windows are like open. And you want to do the same with this right here, delete faces. So yeah, after you deleted the windows, what you want to do is press 7. I'm going to hide the camera pressing H. So I'm just going to keep watching this right here, but now the camera won't bother me while I'm actually setting up the scene. So now what you want to do is press 7, select this right here, and press Alt D and X. So you move this to the X axis and you want to just do this. So you have you position all the houses. So what you want to do is duplicate this house over and over again in all the scenes. So you want houses here and houses here and houses here and here. And the reason why I'm putting the same house in every part is just so we have a reference, and then we replace these houses with other houses, other type of houses, and we have a lot of variety in the scene. So let's pretend that this house is all over the scene, and now we go and select a different house, for example this one, press 7, go to wireframe mode, select everything, Ctrl J, now everything is selected, go to solid mode, press Shift S and selection to cursor, dot on your numpad, press 7 on your numpad, G, go roughly right here in the center, press dot on your numpad, GZ, lift this up, and in this case the houses are actually the same relative size. So what you want to do is just delete the house here that is under, like the reference house. And for example, if you have a bigger house, just like this one, you want to do the same. So press 7, go to wireframe mode, select everything, Ctrl J, go back to solid mode, press Shift S and selection to cursor, dot on your numpad, scale this down a lot, 7 on your numpad, G, and position this house roughly right here, and scale it down, GZ, scale it down even more, so roughly right there, so it's the same size. Delete the house, the reference house, and now you want to do this with all the houses, and I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to copy the houses that I did while I was practicing, because this process is a little bit time consuming, but what you want is this. So you have a variety of houses, and I did this using the method that I just told you. So I select a bigger house, and then I position the bigger house with the help of my reference house, that was this one. So another thing that you want to do is with every house, you want to go to edit mode and delete the faces that are in the windows. If you can, delete the faces that are in the doors also. So at the end of all that process, you will end up with something like this. And now we want to position the electric poles that are right here. So Shift S, selection to cursor, dot on your numpad, and scale this down a little bit, dot on your numpad, go RZ 90, left click, 7 on your numpad, G, and you want this roughly right here, S, so you scale this down, G, Y, GX, something like this, GZ, S again, GX, and you want this roughly right here, so the poles cross the street. GZ, so now what you want to do is select this and Shift D, X, move this a little bit right here, and this copy, I'm going to press 1, go to wireframe mode, go to edit mode, and this pole right here, so all this section, I'm going to delete everything. So now go back to solid mode and move this a little bit here. So it looks like it's connected. It's if you look closely, it's not actually connected, but it's not noticeable in the final edit, so no problem. And now what you want to do is select this, Alt D, X, and you want to do the same. And there you have it, all the poles are positioned in our scene. So now I want to position a car that is right here, so go back to this model that we downloaded, and here there is a low poly car. So press Shift S, selection to cursor, dot on your numpad, 7 on your numpad, G, and go right here, dot on your numpad, and GZ a little bit, and scale this down also a little bit, GZ, GY, sorry, GX, and here it's fine. Now we also want two persons, one person here in the window and another person here crossing the street. So you want to press here, File, Import, FBX, and import these characters. You want to scale this down a little bit and a little bit more, something like this. Also drag this up and you have all the keyframes that this character has, so you just press A and delete everything because this character is not going to be animated, it's going to be standing right here. Okay, so now I'm going to import the other character. So yeah, the character needs to be here behind the window. So now I'm going to create this type of path or cylinder that is going from this house to this man. And to do that, you want to press Shift A, Mesh and Cylinder, and you want to scale down the cylinder. We want to make this a little bit longer, so S and Z. And there you go. Press Ctrl A and apply your transformations. So now you want to go to edit mode, press 2, Alt click here, so you select all this top part and Alt click here, and now you want to press Ctrl V to make a little bit of a bevel. And now you want to go to the modifiers tab, add modifiers and subdivision surface modifier. Give this a lot of subdivisions, like 4. And now you want to add another modifier. You want to add a bevel modifier, and put this above the subdivision surface. Increase the segments to 3, and yeah, it's going to have this peel appearance. And now we close all this, and I'm going to add a curve, a Bezier curve. So it's going to be long. Press 7, S, just right here. Go to edit mode and select this vertex, G, and go here to the inside of this house. And select here, G, and go roughly right here. Press G here, and you want this to be behind the man. Press here also, and yeah, we want something like this. Press here again, something like this. And now you want to select both of these vertices and right click and subdivide. So it's going to make a point here in the center. And you want something like this, and now select these two vertices and again subdivide, so it makes another point here, and position this roughly right here. Go here, I'm going to tweak this a little bit more, and now go back to solid mode and G, Z, and lift this up a little bit, and yeah, that's fine. Now I want to tweak this part a little bit, so this curve starts from the inside of the house. So go to edit mode here, GX, and yeah, there you have it. We have this curve that goes from the inside of this house to the back of this man. Okay, so now go back to this object, and now you want to go to the modifiers, add modifier and curve modifier. Choose the eyedropper tool and select this curve, and now it's going to appear here, and see which one of these options looks better. So in this case the Z option looks better, and now if we press G and Z, it's going to move. G and Z is going to move along this curve, as you can see. So now we have all the main elements. Now I'm going to work on the lighting and the materials. So now I'm going to drag this here and go back to the camera just so I can see everything. I'm going to hide the camera again. So now if we go to render view, it looks like this. So first I'm going to go here to the world material, world properties, click here, new, under color, I want something like, let's see here, I want something like, yeah, this gray or light gray, something right here, okay? And now I want a light, a point light. So press Shift A, light, point light, GZ. And now I'm just going to copy the position of the light that I used while I was practicing for this video. So the light will be positioned right here. If you want to copy these transform settings, it will be something like this, and what you want to do is increase this up to 20 watts, and you want to tweak the shadow settings so it looks good here, because yeah, if I do a render, the shadows doesn't look that good, so I want to improve this. So I'm going to lower the bias to 0.001. I'm going to turn on contact shadows, and I'm going to lower the distance to 0.01, and now the shadows look a little bit better. So yeah, this is just if you are using Eevee. If you use cycles, you won't bother with these settings. And now I want to change the material of almost everything. So first the world, maybe I lower this down a little bit, something like this. Now the houses, maybe I want something gray, something like this maybe. I'm going to name this material base, and all the houses will have this material. So yeah, now everything has this almost gray material, and this is going to be like the base. And now some things are going to be red from the start. Things like this cylinder right here. Let's select this, press new, go to base color, and let's give it like a red, not that saturated, a subtle red. And let's increase the emission a little bit. I'm going to select the same red, and I'm going to increase the emission a little bit, something like this. Let's put the strength to 5, and I'm going to name this material red. And things like this man are going to have this material, so let's choose red right here. So yeah, and this girl right here, I'm going to delete the materials that she has, everything here, and I'm going to change to our red material. This car is going to turn red, so right now I'm going to leave it as it is. And other thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to add a couple lights. So GZ, move this right here. And as you can see here, so I'm going to make a render. As you can see here, this cylinder is not leaving like a red light in the floor. I mean, it's a little bit, but it's not that much. In cycles, it won't be a problem, but in Eevee, to make this look a little bit better, I'm going to actually add a red light right here. So I'm going to select the house, Shift S, cursor to selected, Shift A, and I'm going to add a point light, 7. Okay, first I'm going to lower the strength, something right here, 7, and I'm going to position this here, right below our cylinder. I'm going to make this red, and I'm going to lower this a little bit more, something like this right here. I'm going to increase the radius a little bit, and now if I make a render, the light is going to be here. Like, I know I'm faking this effect, but in Eevee I have to do that, but in cycles you don't have to, okay? And I don't know a way to parent this to here, because this has the curve modifier, I can't parent this light to the cylinder so it follows when we animate the cylinder. So I'm going to do this by hand, and I'm going to place keyframes so it follows the position of the cylinder, and you are going to understand later. So now I'm going to bring back the camera again, and now I'm going to press on our plane, Shift S and cursor to selected. Now Shift A, and I'm going to add an empty and sphere, scale it down, something like this. And now I want to position this empty like in the center of the scene, something right here maybe. And now I'm going to select the camera, go to the constraint and track 2, choose the eyedropper tool and select our empty. So now the camera will look at this point all the time. Now we want to add another empty, another sphere. Scale this down, maybe a little bit more, so we can differentiate between these two empties. Press 7, G, and go to the house where the cylinder is going to appear, something like this. And now you want to select the camera and data properties, enable depth of field, choose the eyedropper and select the empty that we just created. And now I'm going to tweak a little bit the settings so the corners will look a little bit more out of focus. So yeah, I'm going to do a quick render and something like 1.5. Maybe I will lower this down a little bit. But yeah, what we want to achieve is all these corners have to be like blurred. So maybe we change the f-stop to 2. I know it's not like realistic, like a real camera, but I'm in Blender. I'm using Blender. So yeah, I think this is fine. And now I'm going to select the camera and press Shift S and cursor to selected, Shift A, and I'm going to add another empty. And this empty is going to control the camera. It's going to be like a second control of the camera so we can overlap the movements while we are animating. So yeah, I'm just going to overshoot the timing of everything, but we want to position ourselves roughly right here. Go to the camera, go to the object properties and place keyframe on the rotation properties right here. And now go to 0 and press G and X. Something, so we have something like this, maybe. Place a keyframe here, press T and select linear. So we're going to have something like this at the beginning, which is fine. I think I'm going to like decrease the movement so it is a little bit slower. Something like this is fine. And now I will drag these keyframes to something like here maybe, and now here I'm going to place a keyframe on this empty on the location properties, and I'm also going to place a keyframe on these two empties right here. So place a keyframe here and also in this empty here. Let's go roughly right here maybe. Select this empty, press 7 and position the empty roughly where the man is. Yeah, somewhere right here. Somewhere right here is fine. Place a keyframe. Now we are going to do the same with this empty that is controlling the depth of field. So G and here also, something right here. Place a keyframe and now this empty, we want to press 1, G, Z. Oh, sorry, I forgot to parent the camera to this empty. So let's select the camera and then select the empty and parent, sorry, Control P and parent object, set parent to objects. Okay, so now select the empty, press 1, G, Z. Go down and now press 7, G, go something right here maybe. And yes, something right here. Is yep, something right here. And place a keyframe. I'm going to select the camera, go into the first keyframe of this empty that controls the depth of field. Select the camera, go to data, and place a keyframe here on f-stop. So go back to the empty, go to the next keyframe, select the camera again. Now I'm going to increase the depth of field so it looks better. So I want this man to be in focus and everything else out of focus. So this, I think this is fine. Place a keyframe, and now we will have something like this. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, that's smooth. That is smooth. Sorry. So here, before it lands, we want to select the camera, go to the object properties, and also place a keyframe. Go here and press G, X, and X again. And we want to make a little bit of a movement right here. Place another keyframe and make these keyframes linear. So now, hopefully, when the camera lands, it don't stop moving. It keeps rotating here. So here you can see that the shadow is a little bit weird, and that is because of Eevee. So if you want to make this better, remember to change to cycles. So I'm going to drag these keyframes a little bit more to somewhere right here, and let's see. And yeah, it doesn't stop moving. So roughly right here in the 320, we're going to select our empty, the empty that controls the camera, place another keyframe, and yeah, we're going to place keyframes on every empty. Go here to 420, select this empty that controls where the camera is looking, press 7 and G, and go here to the car and place a keyframe, and do the same with the empty that controls the depth of field. G and go here, place a keyframe, and now do the same with the empty that controls the camera. Go roughly right here. Right here is fine. G is set, so it is a little bit up. And yeah, I think this is fine. Place a keyframe, and now the camera movement. I think the camera movement is fine at this point. Let's see. Yeah, it looks smooth. Okay, and now it moves right here. Let's go. So now that the camera movement is done, we are going to make keyframes to this cylinder right here. So let's press GZ and go inside the house. Go to the first keyframe. Let's play, and something right here in the frame 50. We are going to place a keyframe on the location, on the seed location of this cylinder. Then go to where the camera here stops moving, somewhere right here. Select the cylinder again, and now GZ and go right about here. Place another keyframe, and now the object is moving right here. Let's go. That's good. So go to the first keyframe, and now we are going to keyframe this light so it follows the cylinder. So G7 on your numpad, G here, place a keyframe on the location. Let's go to the last keyframe of the cylinder. Let's select the light, 7, G, and right here, GX, right here, and place a keyframe. So now obviously it won't it won't follow the object precisely, but we are going to work on that. So let's see here, let's go to the middle, something right here, G, and go here, place keyframes. Now let's see, I'm going to make everything here linear, and let's see, G, so yeah, now the light is following, yeah, as you can see, the light is following the cylinder, and that's exactly what we want. So now we want the light to disappear and make the man appear. So let's select the cylinder somewhere right here, and now make another window, go to this corner and drag up, and go here and select the shader editor and make a copy here, so we can keyframe just this object and not every red object. Go here to the alpha, press I on your keyboard and go here to the last keyframe and lower the alpha to 0 and press I again. So as you can see, it is not invisible. So what you want to do is go here to the material properties, and here in settings you want to put the blend mode to alpha blend, and you want to put the shadow mode to none and leave everything as it is. So now this will disappear here. There you go. And now we want to do the same with the light. So go here to the first keyframe right here, select the light, go to the power, press I, go back to the cylinder, last keyframe, select the light, and turn the power down to 0 and make another keyframe. So now everything will disappear. And now we want to do the same but in reverse, this man right here. So let's select the man, and I'm going to go here to the shader editor, and I'm going to make a copy because I want to keyframe just the man. So this is red 2, and I'm going to select this material on the rest of this model. Let's go. And now we want to start from alpha 0. Remember to go here to the settings and place alpha blend, and here in the shadow mode you want alpha hashed. Press I, press the cylinder and go to the last keyframe, go back to this man, increase the alpha to 1 and press I again. So now it's going to appear at the same time that the cylinder disappears. There you go, just like that. And I'm going to give the same material, so the red 2, to this woman, because in the original edit this woman and the man appears and disappears at the same time. So I'm going to give this woman the same material. And now we want to keyframe the light in the car, so the material and the light. So go here and roughly right here in the 390, I'm going to select the car, go here to the shader editor, make a copy, and now I'm going to place a keyframe here on the base color. Go forward a little bit, something right here in the 450, select the base color, and let's choose red, not that saturated, and place another keyframe. So it turns to red, and now we want this car to make like the same glow as the cylinder, because if let me show you, if I just increase the emission, it won't look that good. So yeah, it's going to lose the details of the car, and the car is going to turn to something like white. So yeah, I don't want that. So I'm going to select the car and press Shift S, cursor to selected, Shift A, and I'm going to add a point light. I'm going to decrease the power a lot, something right here. GZ, place the light just above the car. I'm going to lower this even more to something right here. Make the color of the light red, and maybe I will increase the radius just a little bit. Something like this, 0.02. So go back to the first car keyframe, select the light. Sorry, better if we just select the last keyframe, select the light, make a keyframe here in the power, go back to the car, go to the previous keyframe, select the light and turn the power down to 0, make a keyframe, and now we have this animation and it looks super good. Okay, so that is essentially the animation. Let's see if we have something. Let's go. Yeah, it looks good. So the parts where it doesn't look that good is because of Eevee. Yeah. And this animation will be better in cycles, as I already told you. So after that, you want to go to the output settings, select the folder where you want to export it, select here PNG, compression to 0, and go here to render and render animation. I already have this animation rendered, so after that, you want to go here, press plus, video editing and video editing. You will be here, go to the beginning, Shift A and image sequence and go. So go to the folder where you just exported the animation, the frames of the animation. You will have something like this, press A and press add image strip, and you have here your animation. And now what you want to do is change the output settings where you want your final animation to be. Press here and select FFmpeg video. In encoding, you want to change Matroska to MPEG 4 and medium quality to high quality. Now you go here to render and render animation. I already did that, so I see you in After Effects for the final details. So now I'm in After Effects. Sorry if the After Effects is in Spanish. I have to change the settings, but don't worry, it's not that different. So I forgot to animate the color of the house, but it is the same technique as I used with the car. I animated the light plus the color of the house. So now we are going to work on the names. Go here, select a rectangle and make a rectangle, something like this. And yeah, it needs to have a white stroke and a black fill. I'm going to add an effect that is turbulent displays. Lower the level to 20 and the size to 25 maybe, or 10. 10 looks good, or 5. Yeah, 5 looks better. And now go here to the evolution options, random seed, press alt click and type posterize time. Set that to 6, press enter and type random 500. Click off. And now you want to duplicate this effect and put the level and the size to 8. So now it's going to be something like this. Now I want to go here in the content, go here to the rectangle path, right click and convert to curve path. Select the pen tool and make 2 points roughly right here and 1 in the center and drag this down, something like this. Now you want to add a text and type Lee Oswald. Select the text, press Ctrl so it is in the center of the shape that we just did. S and lower the scale to something like 15 and change the font to something that looks good. In my case, I'm just going to put Japanese text and increase the size again to something like here. Now I want to parent this text to this shape layer, and now I'm going to go roughly right here and I'm going to lower the anchor point to the bottom. Doing this with this script, but if you don't have that, you can just select this tool and move the anchor point and press Ctrl here, and it's going to stick to the bottom. So now I'm going to position this above the cylinder, press S, and I'm going to make this smaller. Let's see, something like this. like 80, and I'm going to place a keyframe, and I'm just going to follow the cylinder. So it will look something like this. Obviously it's not perfect because I'm just doing a tutorial, but hopefully you will do it better. But yeah, it is something like this. And now I want to do the same but with Lily Randall. Yeah, I'm going to go here, and here is where Lily Randall appears. So I'm going to duplicate this and delete all the keyframes right here. I'm going to clear the parent here, and I'm going to press R and 180. Go to the text, and I'm going to put this in the middle. I'm going to parent this again. I'm going to put this right here. And now what I want to do is actually track Lily Randall right here. So I'm going to go here to the tracker tool, set the origin to our 3D animation, set the tracker to this red right here, select here follow movement, tracker 1, here select transform, check here on position, select here, and yeah, before this you want to make a null object, so position this wherever, select here and select the null, go here and press here analyze, and it's going to track hair right here. Stop, and at this point it will disappear. So now edit destiny, null 3, and apply. There you go. So now we want to go here to the first keyframe, select this thing right here, and now we parent this to the null, and now it's going to follow the position right here. And you can tweak it as much as you want. I'm going to leave it right there. And now I'm going to work on the animation. So go here, content, rectangle, go to path and make a keyframe, move it right here. And now select these points, go to here, select these points, go to here. Now select this, go here, and select this and go here. And now select these keyframes and adjust the curve so it looks something like this. And I'm going to do the same with the opacity. I'm going to go right here, press T, place a keyframe on opacity, go to the beginning and lower this down to 0. And it's going to look something like this. Maybe I want this a little bit faster. So select these keyframes and go here. Yeah, I like that. And now roughly right here I want to animate the text, so I'm going to use this plugin, this free plugin, which is Animation Composer. Go here to transitions, text layer, and select the second one from start, animate in, and now it's going to look something like this. I want this to start earlier. There you go. There you go. So now I want to animate the part where it disappears, somewhere right here. So go back to the plugin, transition text layer, and now I want to animate out from the end. Yeah, something like this. And now I want to copy these keyframes, make these keyframes linear, and now we want to do this, and we want to achieve a curve that looks something like this. There you go. So now we want to do the same here with the opacity. There you go. I forgot to change the name here. Instead of Lily Oswald is Lini Randall. Let's make this rectangle bigger. And now we want to do like the same animation we did earlier, the same keyframes. We want to do this right here. And now let's put some effects. Add an adjustment layer and maybe 4 adjustment layers. And now a solid, a gray solid. Pre-compose this, select this option right here. Search for the add grain effect. Previsualization, you want final output. Here you want to choose Kodak Vision 200T. Intensity, you want 0.5. Color, monochrome. And animation to 0. And change the blend mode to overlay. Now you want a vignette. Choose the CC vignette effect. Amount to 200 and the angle of view 45, it's fine. Now you want to add a directional blur. Here you want 30. Go here and select ellipse. Double click here. Invert the mask, and the feather you want 350. And now you want to increase the size to 105 or so. Then here you want a chromatic aberration, so look for chromatic error. Change to the second option right here and lower this down to -3 and here to 3, +3. So it's super subtle. And yeah, now you want another adjustment layer, and this is going to be the color. So add a lumetri color effect. Decrease the saturation a little bit, maybe to 70, and the temperature to something like -15. And now for the animation at the beginning, you want to add another adjustment layer. I'm going to name it lens, and I'm going to search for the CC lens effect. I'm going to make a keyframe here at the beginning, and I want to set the size to 0, and a couple seconds later I want the size to be 500 and this to be 0. Now press select the keyframes and press F9, and we should have something like this, maybe a little bit slower. There you go. And that's the final animation.
7. Atop a dresser in the bedroom, he left behind his wedding ring. Oswald was next seen walking down the street by Lini Randall, carrying a package. He was soon joined by Fraser, and the two of them took a seat in his car to begin their commute.
So yeah, that's the final animation. If you like this video, you will probably like this one also. Consider subscribing, and I will see you in the next one.